We are back. Listen, guys, it's Ducky. All right, Ducky World. You know what this is. You know what we're freaking here for. Okay. It's been a couple weeks since we've gotten to get back to this video. All 42 killers ranked worst to best. All right, but they've had this guy's had some pretty tasteful takes, if you ask me, and we'll get into that talking about some of the stories, getting into a little bit of my opinion on this. I've been really into DVD again lately, and I told you guys that we were gonna like start changing up the content a little bit and giving you guys, some different things. I don't want it to just be gaming. I want to react to some stuff. I got some like Diamond Gym reaction stuff I want to do that I think would be like pretty cool. Into the working out now. So let me grab a light, Bubba. Let me grab a light. I got my light right over here, dog. Chill out. And this will be on YouTube. If you don't follow me on YouTube, guys, smash that subscribe button, smash the like button. We're building it up. I've been stuck. I've been stuck at like 300 something for a minute, bro. They say the first thousand's the hardest. So let's get into this. I hope you guys enjoy the content. Yo, and big shout out if he sees this, AZHY Mobs. I don't know how you say his name, but shout out to this dude because he makes some really solid videos. I really enjoy watching him. So more reacting into these different kinds of reactions, filming, whatever, IRL. Let's get into it. I don't want to waste any more time, but let's start with Chucky. Okay. Um, C tier, yeah, probably a pretty solid spot to put him. If you ask me, he is absolutely terrifying for me. Chucky is a very real character that I was afraid of as a child. I love like the movies now, but he was a very real fear of mine. So with him, when you hear those, you get the scratch marks and the little laughing and the little foot. Miss me with it. Miss me with it. Let's get into this.
Isn't stopped by pallets or windows, with these things actually allowing him to extend his dash. The downside of Chucky though is that outside his power he's slow, and whilst he does still have some extra stealth with his short size and ability to enter a stealth mode, he still makes a lot of noise with his talking and chuckles. Whilst Chucky is a very strong chaser and incredibly good at catching survivors, I do think he struggles with wider map control and pressure, with larger maps often being tougher for him to hold.
LAD
Imagine
is
being able to build
crazy.
anything just by thinking about it.
LAD,
Meet
LAD,
Base
LAD.
44.
Number 19, The Unknown. Unknown is a character that's fallen a decent amount over the years since its release, as I think it's
When I first started playing, I remember this dude coming out and he was like really creepy to me. But after a while, bro, you really get it. I think there's characters lower on this list where he could be. Knight and some of the other ones, like I said in part one, for sure.
become more widely known how to counter it, and so its power, which originally seemed
Facts.
fairly unstoppable, now is
Right.
seen with a lot more holes.
Yeah.
Unknown does have a lot of potential though, where many other killers have a sort of cap-off point. Unknown doesn't really have this, but it is harder to make good use of its power. It can feel quite awkward at times, and the counterplay of simply looking at it can be quite punishing too, especially on very open plan maps. Unknown does get a bit of a helping hand with a range of solid add-ons and some nice abilities like its teleport, and somewhat passive pressure after applying weakened. That sort of paranoia it has going for it does work to its
Yeah.
favor, but the downsides of the power are much of the time too great to make up for its strengths.
Truth.
Number
Truth.
18, Pinhead. Pinhead is in an interesting spot now with him being removed from the store, and so no longer being purchasable. This oddly gives him a slight advantage, I'd say, with many newer players very rarely encountering him, and experienced ones getting less practice against him, only compounded by the fact that his play rate is already very low. Pinhead
That's a fact, bro. You do not see Buddy come around like very often at all. And he's so fucking annoying. Those chain thing, bro. He can be so broken. Like, I'm glad he got removed from the store. Fuck that. People shouldn't be allowed to buy him. He's lame. Continue, sir.
has access to solid abilities that have always done well by him. His
Mhm.
anti-loop chain shot ability, whilst a
Mhm.
bit tricky, is
Mhm.
incredibly effective at its
Yeah.
job of slowdown or general anti-loop. His chain hunt can grind a trial to a complete halt until the box is solved, and his teleport is a handy way to pressure survivors if they happen to find the box. His kit really does cover just about every area you'd want it to. It's just
Yeah.
the fact that he's quite tough and technical, and requires a lot of precision and practice, which occasionally makes him inconsistent or unreliable. Now we move on to our strong tier. Number 17, Vecna. D&D Vecna is a character that I think is fairly suitable to place around the midpoint of the tier list, with him having a number of super average abilities that come together to create a genuinely solid power. Vecna is sort of good at everything, and not amazing at anything in particular either. He's got solid anti-loop, a movement ability, an information ability. It all sort of comes together to make a pretty consistent killer through this all. Although it does require a lot of juggling, the power is also not too tricky despite appearing initially intimidating. Vecna is a solid and average killer who can perform well on most maps. Number 16, Wesker. Wesker is another character who's fallen quite...
If you play Wesker, I hate you. On God, on everything I love. Off yourself in Minecraft, of course, bro. Fuck these kids. Fuck these kids, man. Clip it. I said it. You play as Wesker, bro? I hate you. We got beef. Real life. Like, what's Get say? Meet me on the fucking tarmac, brother. Continue.
A bit over the last few years, and I think it's because his power has generally just gotten more punishing to use, with many loops nowadays just being really tough for him to get around. Then there's the dodgy collision here and there, and his overall weaker Ouroboros infection. Wesker is just weak.
I feel like as he's talking about the higher tiers, he has like less things to say and actually just downplays them a lot. Like the last couple, like they're higher in the tier list, but you just downplay them like they're not that good.
Weaker than he used to be, but he is still a strong character, with his movement or dash ability allowing for moments of great precision where you can easily catch up to and down someone within seconds. For every time there's an annoying loop you can't quite get around, there'll be a time with open area where you can reach and down someone within a few seconds. So although weaker and not able to end trials in 7 minutes, he's still quite strong. Number 15, Pyramid Head. Pyramid Head is a character that's always remained in the top half of killers because he offers very useful abilities, able to bypass anti-tunnel perks, and be generally more efficient with his caging.
Bro, you can literally spam that shit. Like, Davis is not wrong. My boy Davis will tell you too, bro. Straight up, just like that. Yeah, just chatting's got way too much going on. There's gonna be no motion in there. I'm not gonna break the barrier in that. But, not breaking the just chatting barrier. No, but Davis is not wrong, bro. You can just spam the shit out of this. Like, he's he's another one, dude. No skill character.
Similar to Pinhead, though, Pyramid Head is quite tricky, with his ranged attack requiring a good amount of
Sierra
practice and knowledge of survivor pathing and prediction. He's in a more reliable state nowadays though, with his greatly improved add-on range that does smooth out the edges of his power, and honestly has just buffed it overall, with him gaining a lot more flexibility around how it performs, where before the add-ons were near useless. This weakness no longer exists. This makes him quite reliably strong, although decently technical. Number 14, the Plague. Plague is another in this string of killers who are strong, but they have a downside or some kind of complication that stops them from being top tier. I think in Plague's case is her vomit as a projectile, which can be unreliable at times, but also it's just very different, which does make it harder to pick up. Plague has a lot of strengths, like her ability to quite easily make a full team broken with her basic vomit, and then apply insane pressure with her red vomit, able to apply whole damage states with it. Plague does lack in the area of map traversal and pressure, but I'd argue her range and also ability to infect objects does sort of even this out, as it provides a way to monitor the environment and track where the survivors are, based on where you've been. An incredibly unique character who plays very differently to any other killer. Number 13, the Artist. Artist is another character who has fallen down the list for me, and I think it's because whilst her potential is insane, basically being limitless, she can technically damage a survivor from just about anywhere on the map, but there's a lot that stands in the way of this potential. One of my biggest peeves with this character is how survivors can get rid of crow swarms by just hopping into a locker, a simple action that can completely remove your well-placed long-range crow shots. This means for the most part, she ends up basically just being an anti-loop character, which is a great strength for her too. She can...
And you really don't see her that much, dude. Like, she does not come around that often. It is very far and few times I see this bitch. Like, people play her. But it is. She's strong. She is strong when she comes around. And I think we'll probably make it out, but it's going to be a challenge for sure.
And shut down loops easily and force survivors away from them, Whilst there's definitely some tricky elements to her and handling her crows, she's undeniably strong, and that potential is absolutely possible. It just depends on the survivors you're facing a lot of the time, and also the map, as some may have strange elevations.
Yeah.
Number 12,
Okay.
the Houndmaster. Houndmaster is a character that I want to put high.
Boy. Oh, did we just get another follower? I was at 120 for a second. Somebody followed and then unfollowed. Is crazy. That's wild news. Boy, when that Houndmaster came out, that shit was insane. She was so fucking broken, and you would get her every other game. She was so broken, and you got her every other. That's really what happens when killers come out. As of like since I started playing, they come out, you get them a ton, and then they dip. You know what I mean? You just don't fucking see them anymore. You'll see them for a hot minute, something will happen, an update to the character, and then it's just forever gone. And everybody goes back to whatever the fuck they main. Tokyo Ghoul, don't see him. You know, Legion, see him all the time. Jason, especially, obviously makes sense. Freddy, don't see that much. Nurse, still see. You know, Doctor, still see. Like people just play their mains, bro. You don't see her, but she's fucking broken.
As her power is honestly really strong, with her basically just having a remote or controllable dash with her dog Snug. Instead of you as the character dashing, the dog does. This in many ways though is a great benefit, and actually allows you to be in two places at once within a chase, pressuring from multiple angles with Snug's fast speed and ability to reposition. She's also benefited by the fact that she can traverse the map pretty quickly with Snug's trails, or simply just gain information by sending Snug to go search a gen. Everything about Houndmaster is effective and genuinely strong, but she still has a bunch of bugs. One of the last games I played with her, the screen just started sort of shaking, and I began moving about 10% slower than I was meant to. It's stuff like that. I want to put her higher, but this kind of thing seems to always reoccur for her. Number 11, the twins. Twins are a character that are often pretty slept on, as they're
I'll say what I want to say after.
Generally just quite disliked and always have been. But they're actually very good and are able to control a map quite effectively with the ability to be in two places at once. Victor
Incorrect.
especially is the powerhouse of the twins, with him able to move fast, leap far, and even provide tracking and information when attached to someone or just when he's idle. Victor can cause a lot of damage to a team, especially an already injured one, which he can.
Bro. The twins are so easy. They're so easy. The mid tier as fuck. There's nothing strong about these killers. Fuck what this guy say. Your opinion's wrong here, bud. That's so wrong. I should comment that.
Wipe pretty
That's
easily,
crazy to me.
given
That's
he
a
doesn't
crazy
get crushed.
take.
With twins, you also get the advantage of people just very rarely seeing them, which does genuinely lend you a bit of an upper hand, as people just don't expect them, nor do they get to practice against them all too much. Twins are very formidable though. Now up to our very strong tier. Number 10, the Oni. Oni is overall a very strong character, with him being fast moving and capable of insta-downing when his power is active. His main weakness is just getting his power initially, and then subsequently keeping it. Survivors can often halt your progress by pre-dropping pallets, and playing extremely safely to avoid you. This is the main weakness though. Aside this, Oni is pretty formidable, and is able to get quick back-to-back downs, and traverse and patrol the map very efficiently.
You don't see him
that much.
He does
require a persistent momentum though for sure, and things like his add-ons aren't amazing, but there's enough good ones for it not to matter all too much. So, strong character. Number 9, Vecna. Yes, our second Vecna, who coincidentally is called the First. I know, very confusing. Vecna is a very strong character though, with his ability to pull survivors into the World Breaker mode, where he's able to use his ranged vine attack to damage survivors for a health state. This mode is insanely powerful when active, and is honestly really easy to activate as well. When it is, he can essentially just remotely damage survivors, almost like Nurse, except instead of going to the blink, he sort of like places the blink. The tricky part is that he has to be very accurate and careful, and aware that survivors can quite easily counter you, although the power is certainly in your hands with where and when you place the vines. Survivors do get a sound cue, and they can just move side to side every now and then, and it can work out. Vecna also gets a pretty decent map traversal ability that doubles up for an AoE attack. Quite a tricky power, I will say, but when you get the feel for it...
What is Vecna from? Oh, my light fell. Huh. What is Vecna from? Man. Technical difficulties? Technical difficulties? What's Vecna from? Dungeons and Dragons? Interesting. Interesting.
Really is just wildly strong. As Vecna the First is fairly new though, this is a rather tentative placement, admittedly. So we'll see what happens over the course of the next year. Number 8. Kaneki. Kaneki is a character who has 100% been nerfed, and in quite a number of ways, but he's still really good, and he still feels very easy to play too, I'd say. Not as easy as before, but still very straightforward. Despite his nerf wall of patches, he's still able to bound and move very quickly. He can still apply damage on first hit and deep wound, and he's able to precisely maneuver and cut off survivors mid-chase. He's a great killer and does what he does maybe better than almost any other movement-based killer, aided greatly by the little bonuses he gets, such as the deep wound application, and his enraged mechanic enabling even more viability for movement and playing around loops, as he gets that extra token. Number 7. Dracula. Dracula is a killer who feels almost designed to tick every box of a powerful killer. He has his
mid-tier. Hard at first, but he got super easy, and then people stopped playing him.
3 forms, one able to damage at range and over loops, another enables him with a dash ability, and then a final one allows a wider movement set and ability to traverse the map fairly stealthily. He's just kind of got everything you'd want, and it's all relatively easy to pick up, and flows well together. The only thing I personally find annoying is the form switching, as I always get the various forms muddled up. Overall though, Dracula really does just have pretty much everything you'd want in a power, but maybe doesn't excel in a specific area like most of the higher killers do.
You know.
Number 6. The Singularity.
Fuck
Singularity
this
has
thing.
been overall quite buffed up over the last few years, and is honestly just...
So is this worst to best by being like worst to most broken? Which is wrong, because the knight is just as broken as some of these characters. Straight up. Straight up. The knight is just as broken as some of these characters. Clip it. Clip it. Come back to this video, look at the very strong. Tell me the knight isn't as broken as some of these guys up here. And it's your opinion, bro. I understand what you're saying. You base it off your facts and like this, that, and the third. I love reacting to your content. You're fantastic, but bro, no. That was a crazy take.
really strong nowadays, with his
Still
ability to
tight.
set up a vast array of biopod cameras that allow you to monitor but also pressure the map and teleport to just
So
about
ridiculous.
anywhere. He can also use his ability in chase to quickly catch up or break pallets or even just shatter them instantly. When a survivor is slipstreamed, Hux becomes very oppressive and is near unstoppable even when the survivor is just constantly throwing pallets. I also think that Singularity is just easier than he used to be. He has auto lock-ons now, and smoother feeling gameplay. Everything about him just flows well, and you can certainly feel the strength. Number 5, the Spirit. Spirit is always a character that's been pretty formidable with her ability to phase in and out of the survivor vision, this ability allowing her to very easily catch survivors, as it robs them of their main tool, vision, or precise location on where you are. Spirit doesn't require much to use well, with her just needing you to listen closely to sound cues, and look at the environment for certain tells when tracking survivors, as they're all invisible when you phase. This does make her a bit of an accessibility problem for many people, unfortunately. Spirit does have more counterplay to her nowadays, with her phase sound being directional, but this is hardly that bad, and she's still incredibly strong. She has a solid range of add-ons, and yeah, I mean she goes fast and invisible, so she's still really good. Number 4, the Crossu. Another killer who was largely hit with buff.
I've played against this character like one time, and apparently it's just like David said that nobody does it because it's just like some disrespectful shit because he's so broken.
And then nerfs, but still withstands and remains a top tier killer. She has a bit of a weird power, admittedly, with the odd leeching mechanic. However, her head form is just so strong once a survivor is leeched. You're able to catch up insanely fast with headlong flight, and then use the extended lunge you get to land hits easily. along with the advantage of the third-person perspective, which I'd argue is only a hindrance sometimes due to it feeling a bit clunky. Krasu's head form though is pretty unmatched honestly when it comes to power level. She is just so capable in this form. So long as the survivors are leeched, her downsides are relatively minimal. The fungus is not that much of a counter, and I'd say her clunkiness is her worst aspect. Really strong. Finally, our best of
S tier, here we go, dude. This is where shit gets gravy. Oh, dude, 5 minutes left. I gotta plug this bitch in. I knew that was gonna happen. I knew that shit was gonna happen. I should have plugged this bitch in before I started. L streamer. L mans. Yo, y'all just low key saw my junk. If you're wondering why my pants are unbuttoned, because I got my belt on. Shit's tight against my waist. I'm losing weight. Get off my dick. Yup. Yup. Don't be gay, bro. Don't be gay, bro. Alright, bye. Alright, we back in this bitch. We back in this bitch. Hi.
the best, the extremely strong tier. Number 3, Billy. Billy, ever since his Overdrive rework, has been
I
launched
like
back
playing
into the
against
top
Billy.
3 of killers.
I don't think he's that hard. If you get a crazy Billy, it's different. He's got a lot of abilities, but like perks for himself, but he's not that hard. I think Leatherface is harder.
And whilst maybe it's more of a hot take to keep him here, with loops not always being his friend, or some maps in general just being less
It is
accessible,
a hot take.
I do think he persists despite this. He still has insane speed, an insta-down power, and he can make it even faster with Overdrive active. He is tricky at times with curves and his sensitive movement and collision, but he's also so powerful once you have control, so Billy is still up here. Number 2, the Blight. Another staple of our top tier killers, Blight still remains in the number 2 spot, where he's been almost since he came out. Blight offers quick but also precise movement, which stands him apart. He also has a fairly quickly recharging power, and a solid range of add-ons to aid you. Blight's downsides are few, I'd say, with him having some collision issues now and then, and also requiring a good amount of knowledge to truly master him, as it basically requires learning most tiles and their spawns and layouts. But Blight is still insanely good and has very few drawbacks. Number 1, the Nurse. Once again, surprise surprise, Nurse is still the best with her ability to blink through walls and loops. She basically has almost all of the power in her hands within a chase. Where can you go wrong? A lot of the time chases are just down to how skilled a nurse is rather than what the survivor is even doing or attempt to counter her. I'd even say she doesn't really have the issue anymore of struggling slightly with big maps, as big maps have become fewer by the year. Nurse is wildly strong and still the best killer in the game after nearly 10 years. Alright, well that's gonna do it. I do hope you enjoyed. And as always, let me know your thoughts.
Alright, let's go back and take a look at this. Okay, what's he got? Alright, here we go. Quick recap. Alright, F tier, very weak. You got the what's her face bitch, Ghostface, and the Trapper. Agreed. I still play with a couple P100s and I get the Trapper, so we're getting like, or I play with I'll play with a P100, maybe somebody like just slightly under, or we play with the 2 randoms. I'm not up there in rank, but these people are, and that's the thing, bro. Like, I've played with randoms who are supposedly good, and like they still fuck up to him. Like, I think there's people who are high up on this list, like Dracula over Trapper. That's an L take to me. Is that crazy? I don't think that's that crazy. Clip it. Right now, DBD community, as an ignorantly semi-new person, is Dracula better, A tier killer over the Trapper. I think you can get the Trapper and understand his ability, but at the same time, it's just like, dude. Okay, E tier. We got the Pig. Agreed. I think that's the Demogorgon. Agreed. I forgot what that bitch's name is, but Agreed. She can be used better, but agreed. Clown, agreed. Trickster, agreed. Now, Legion. He's not strong, but he is annoying, right? And he can do a lot. He's weak in the sense of he's not insta downing, but he's easily higher up to me in better gameplay than some of these other killers. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Actually, let me look. Yeah, I think he's better than Alien for sure. For sure. I think I have a harder time against him. Maybe that's just my skill gap. Let's go into the D tier. We got the Xenomorph. We got that fucking thing. I think that's the unknown, if I'm not mistaken. Agreed. That's a crazy take, bro. Having Leatherface down here, over a Billy, and I get, dude, I get what you guys are gonna say. Clip it. I understand. I think he has more potential to be a S tier killer, not or a higher tier killer than Billy does. I have a way that's way easier. It's way easier. If the Billy's cracked, it's different. But you're not gonna get a cracked Billy every single time. I don't think so, and it doesn't happen for me. So next up, Knight, move him up. Move him up. You're talking about pressure and all these things, and like at the end of the day, bro, he's so fucking annoying and it's so easy for him. That's a free game. That's a free game. Michael Myers, I agree. I agree. That makes sense to me. The Doctor, mm, mm, uh, I don't I don't really know about that. He could be C, maybe. Um Let me see how my answer. What do we got here? Yeah, Wraith, I agree. Pinhead, broken. Broken. Pinhead, broken. Up. Move him up. 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 But where? Nah, he could take an A tier spot or a B tier spot. He's broken if it's so. Um, I'm not answering the text anymore. Thank you. Thank you. Moving on. Unknown. Chucky, yes, but he scares me. He could be higher. Nemi could be lower. She could probably be higher. He could be higher. Freddy could be lower. Twins, way low. Way low. Move Knight for twins. Knight for twins. For sure. Knight for twins. Knight for twins. Houndmaster, I'll take that. Her probably higher, but I'll take that. Don't see her as much. Only happened a few times in the event. I guess I'll keep that there just because it kind of makes sense to me. I guess Wesker broken. Yup. Don't play him that much, but I think I agree. He's pretty broken. Um, she could be S tier, A tier. I agree. S tier, low tier. Switch. Or you know what? If you want to keep Billy up there, you can put Dracula. You can put Dracula down here for fucking Leatherface. That makes sense. I agree. He's buff nerf, buff nerf, buff nerf. Don't see him that often, bro. You don't see him. You just don't see him that often. Oni, agree. Potentially S tier. What else we got here? Agreed. I'm trying to think. Yeah, obviously, yeah, I agree. I don't agree with that. I don't think I have. We still get out. I have a harder time against some of these other killers. I think Oni could go up there, and then Billy. I don't believe Billy's an S tier, bro. If he's good, if he's cracked, Billy's an S tier. But other than that, bro, Billy is not. Billy is not an S tier. Pure joy in this man. Huh? Yeah. Bang. So, yeah, man. Yeah, man. I want to go look at a couple of his other videos because there's which killers would actually spare the survivors. That's a good one. Let me save the playlist. Choose title. Ducky World reacts. Great. Let's see here. Let's go look at a couple of these. This is a blessing for Dead by Daylight. I'd like to react to that. Save the playlist.